recording for the Oral Archives at Trowbridge Museum on the 15th of March 1996. Mr Howard Whiffin, who worked in the Trowbridge Spitfire factories, talking to David Neville, who talk about Southampton.
During when the war started, the firm created their own whole ARP organisation, and I was in the rescue and demolition squad, and we were paid the magnificent sum of 12.5p per week to be in that. We had our uniform. As a matter of fact, I had still got my Wellingtons, which I used for Father Christmas operation, that was issued to me then, over 50 years ago. Then, as it was bombed out, the rest were sent home until they were called for by the Ministry of Labour to tell them where they were going to be sent, because it was the Ministry of Labour who sent us where we had to go.
Oh, I see.
And then we took over. First of all, we had to make safe the parts of the factory where specialist machines were, jigs, and there was only one set of jigs for building the main spire, drilling the main spires off, and if the bomb had come down through the roof instead of landing on the roof, Spitfires wouldn't have started production for another 18 months again. And a funny story I've got is that I was designated to go onto the roof of the first floor where F shop it was, and a lot of machines there, and I had to get up onto the roof with some tarpaulins to protect them from the weather. And suddenly air raid warning, and I thought, how am I going to get from here? And I suddenly remembered seeing a ladder go up over the roof, down the wall, to the outside down the road. Easiest way down to the ground in the air raid shelter, so over I go, only to get to the bottom to find it finished 12 feet from the ground. So I had to come back again, up over the top, and the guns were firing at the aircraft. They tell us it was a reconnaissance plane, so it didn't matter too much, but made me shake for a while.
I'm sure it did.
Yes, yeah. And then once we tidied up the factory, then they got from somewhere acquired a lot of Queen Marys and low loaders, and the 6 of us in the rescue and demolition squad had 1 tractor, 2 loaders and 6 labourers. And in Southampton area they had already designated the areas for work and the transport of stuff, and I had to deliver all the drawing office stuff, be responsible for it. We filled the 2 loaders up, and 3 labourers to each one. We took those up to Southampton University, who at that time had a lot of wooden sheds, and we delivered them there. We would tow 1 load away, leave them there while the labourers on that, and took the other one, come back to the works and took that, and then went round to the other one that should have been empty by then and bring them back. They would load that up and then go and fetch the other one and bring that back, then take convoy. And I was running through there for about 3 days, I suppose. Then the wages department was moved into a big house called Deep Dean in Upper Hill Lane, and we had to transfer all their stuff up there, including the safe. And that safe was, I suppose, speaking from memory, 4 foot high, 3 foot wide, and probably 3 foot deep. And we had to have 9 labourers, plus the driver and myself, to get that off, and with pieces of pipe, roll it in. But they had to reinforce the floor, yes, for the safe to stand on. And we eventually got it in place. But That was a problem. And then
That
another,
was for financial wages
yes,
department.
yes, because it's amazing how much money these wages departments have to hold in the big places where people leave and they can't do anything. The money's there. There was up at spending. Oh, no, I won't tell you now. That'll be different and nothing to do with that. They also had on the side of the Southampton Hollybrook Cemetery some spare ground, and there were some sheds there. What they were doing there, I don't know. But I had to transfer all the gauges that the Spitfires, they were, I can't remember the name now, but they were all special purchase stuff,
yes.
all made from people outside, specialists for altimeters and fuel gauges and all that, and that was all up there. And in the meantime they built a cage all the way round that and put security guards on it. Well, you could go on a minute for that.
Yes.
After we had delivered that, we went back into the factory and it was very cold. This was November time, and the wings and leading edges of aircraft, of Spitfires that were damaged, we worked under the instruction of the Ministry of Defence, or AOD, Aeronautical Inspection Department, that's the government representatives for quality control, told us exactly what to do, because we couldn't wait for a drawing office to design a repair. If there was a hole there, we would, if it was a small one, drill and countersink it, clean it up so there was no potential crack, put a rivet in there or make a little patch and drill and rivet it on, we didn't throw any away that were repairable.
So this was bomb damage repair?
Yes, all bomb damage repair. And then in, I think it was January 1941, we cleared that lot, and I was sent to Hanson Dorset Garage, right across Southampton. And as I said, they commandeered anything, and this place was like a calendar. So as soon, and we were ordered that as soon as the siren went, the place had to be evacuated because the light shone over everywhere. It looked
Yes.
like the Planetarium in London. And I've spent, one that comes to mind from there was when Coventry was bombed.
Yeah.
We spent 13.5 hours in the air raid shelter.
Did you?
Yes, because if they could see anything, that was moving like a train or anything, they'd drop a bomb.
So they came over Southampton
yes, they come followed the river,
Followed up,
the Southampton water,
Yeah.
and up the river, and up through that way.
Yeah.
And I stayed there working. I suppose we only produced half of what we should have done, being in Southampton, because bomb air raids 2 or 3 times a day, all night sometimes if they were using Southampton water as a marker, and I was glad to move away. But it was April the 1st, 1941, when I came to Trowbridge, having been ordered to go to the Labour Exchange on the 31st of March, and the gruff voice said, "Be in Trowbridge tomorrow, there's a train at 10:35. Got to be at Saithwick." So 10:35 I got the train. At 12:30 I arrived in Trowbridge. I thought, what God-forsaken place is this? And I asked where I got the bus, where Saithwick was, and they said, "Oh, you've got to get a bus outside, opposite the church." So that's where I went, and I stood there, and news travelled fast, because I got on the bus. I said, "Saithwick, please." "Oh, you go to the Spitfire factory," he said. So Wolves did have ears in
Yes, I did.
Trowbridge,